Let's start his One Piece theory in chapter 1032 with Zoro and Orochi hearing a shamisen play. As Orochi peeked, he saw Komurasaki dressed in her Oden outfit. Let's try to figure out whether the Silhouette who healed the Scabbards in chapter 1004 is either Toki, Hiyori, or another person. Zoro and Orochi wonders why someone would be playing a shamisen in the middle of the battle. However, in 992, as Kaido battles the 9 Red Scabbards, Black Maria was also playing a shamisen, but Zoro did not hear it. The Silhouette in One Piece chapter 1004. I have discussed the possibility of either Toki or Hiyori reappearing again in detail on 2 videos. The Silhouette. But this theory is not yet finished. I believe that the person in Silhouette in chapter 1004 is not Onimaru, but another person. And we have already seen this person in the past. After Oden returned, the Scabbards narrated the incidents in Wano during his absence. Upon learning on what happened to Toki, take a look at his reaction. Does this look familiar? It is indeed similar to chapter 1004. You think this does not tell us who the person might be? What if I tell you that the Silhouette could possibly be Toki? Take a look at these 2 silhouettes. But you may doubt it could also be Hiyori. Now, check the changes of Toki's dress in Wano. This panel shows the last dress of Toki when Oden was executed, and she was seen protecting her children in Curry Castle. Also, do you remember the panel we saw Marco and Nakamamushi during the time they were trying to contact Kinemon? Many thought that this was Izo, but the pattern of the dress, or kimono, was the same as Toki's, and Izo was wearing a different kimono, or yukata. And finally, you may ask, how is it possible that Toki is inside Onigashima? Didn't Marco fly with Nekomamushi and Izo? Take a look at the ship that Marco rode. And now, look at the fallen ship after Onigashima floated in the sky. It looks very similar, and this could be the way how Toki entered Onigashima, and now we see her caring for the Scabbards. Lastly, she may show her scar to the Scabbards to prove herself to them. Orochi, Jack, Inuarashi, and the Silhouette in 1007. Despite the number of times that Orochi has reappeared, the Marys have not reported to Kaido or the All-Stars that Shogun Orochi is still alive. At the end of this chapter, Orochi witnessed how Inuarashi defeated Jack. It can also be recalled that there was a mysterious Silhouette who healed the Scabbards in chapter 1007, at the area where Jack and Inuarashi are currently fighting. There are assumptions that the Silhouette could either be Hiyori or Toki. There have been no clues yet as to whether the figure has escaped, but if she's still in the same area, then Orochi might accidentally bump into her and capturing her in the process. Adult Momonosuke and Hiyori will be an Oden and Toki return. Kaido has already transformed to his hybrid form, leaving Momonosuke the dragon flying over Onigashima. The sky splitting will soon reveal Onigashima to the flower capital, and people see Momo as a dragon instead of Kaido. The fear and rage that people feel against the dragon will soon be directed towards Momonosuke. Also, the existence of Momonosuke has not been revealed to the citizen, and Tengu and Toko are not aware that Momo has changed into an adult. In chapter 1023 entitled Spitting Image, Shinobu was able to age Momonosuke at 28 years old. Luffy asked Shinobu why she was crying as she utters the words,
"My lord, you look just like."
It can be assumed that Shinobu was crying because she was afraid of the dragon as she was hiding at the back of Luffy. But in several times that she encountered Kaido as a person or as a dragon, she has never cried out of fear. The only time she cried was during the golden hour as she narrated Oden's sacrifice for Wano. This means that Shinobu meant that Momo as an adult looked like his father, Oden. This would only be possible if she has seen Momo as an adult before he transformed into his dragon form. And, in chapter 939, we can recall that Hiyori tells Zoro that it was not yet the time to meet his brother. The capital is currently unaware that Hiyori and Momonosuke are still alive, and the two as an adult strongly resembles their parents. When they finally show up, people might believe that Oden and Toki has returned. Toki heals Oden while Hiyori heals Zoro. Both Toki and Hiyori had a history in healing other people. In chapter 964, Toki heals Oden after she was saved from the bandits who were trying to capture her. And in chapter 938, Hiyori heals Zoro after he saves her from Kamazo. Is Komurasaki in chapter 1032 Toki or Hiyori? The Komurasaki in One Piece chapter 1032 appears very similar to Hiyori, but may well be Toki in disguise. For one, Toki and Hiyori looks very identical. But let's figure out if the Komurasaki here is an imposter like Oden in chapter 1007. In chapter 932, the samurais mentioned that Hiyori will always wear a kitsune mask whenever she plays the shamisen. Then, it was revealed that the song she is playing is called Moon Princess, and it was meant to be played for her father. It appears that she is crying whenever she plays, so she needs to keep the kitsune mask to hide her tears. But the Komurasaki playing in chapter 1032 is not wearing a mask. She is also wearing the exact kimono during the banquet with Orochi, but this was slashed by Denjiro and the kimono was stained by blood. Zoro, Enma, and Hiyori. Zoro first met Hiyori in Bandit's Bridge as Kamazo was hunting her. Zoro has no idea that Hiyori is Komurasaki. During the time Brook found them, Brook hinted that Hiyori is as beautiful as the Oiran and that the crowds were gathering for the funeral of the Oiran Komurasaki. But Hiyori introduced herself to Zoro as a sister of Momonosuke and not as Komurasaki. Zoro has also never heard Hiyori play the shamisen during their meeting with Kamamatsu. But in chapter 1032, Zoro hears the shamisen play, and after which, the sword Enma which Hiyori gave him started reacting very badly. It can be assumed that Enma reacted to Hiyori as its owner, but why only did it happen after the shamisen started playing? Note also that Ame no Habakiri did not react when Momonosuke stood in front of it, but Enma sucked out the Ryo from Zoro without the shamisen playing. And lastly, in One Piece chapter 1007, Kanjuro painted Oden with the incorrect swords. But Kanjuro has never seen Komurasaki or the grown-up Hiyori, and no one has informed him that the two were the same person. Kanjuro was also not in the banquet held by Orochi to know what Komurasaki was wearing. Final thoughts and discussion. Based on all the clues, there is a huge possibility that the Komurasaki in One Piece chapter 1032 is not Hiyori, but indeed Toki. One would doubt as to how Toki knows the attire of Komurasaki when Denjiro faked her death, but it can be taken into account that Toki can jump into the future. It can also be argued that Toki died while giving the prophecy, but just like any other deaths in One Piece, there are no actual body and Toki's Toki Doki no Mi, Devil Fruit, has not been found, which may point out that Toki is still alive. Oda has also foreshadowed this by showing two scars, Toki on her legs and Hiyori on her arms, and Oda does not randomly put clues without any purpose in the future. Komurasaki also promised Zoro that she will not meet her brother until the right time, not to endanger the raid. And finally, the mystery remains as Oden, Toki, and Komurasaki were all presumed dead. But now, we see another ghost resurrect just like the Nine Shadows. I hope you like my theory. Let's look forward to finding more clues in the story of One Piece.